On my blog, there is a, if you go to my blog, I've been keeping this photo blog, photo and political essay blog for the last 3 years. The newest photo says, if you don't love this, I will fuck you up. Okay? So that's my motto. If you don't love this, I will fuck you up.
Yeah, fuck you too.
You try. The most beautiful word. I think vesicle is the most beautiful word in the English language. He was lying face down, his shirt burnt off, back steaming. I myself was bleeding. There was a harvest of vesicles on his back. His body wept. Y'all may be the ugliest. Don't say the bullet y'all inside the body. Say the bullet dance inside the body. Say the bullet tumble forward and upward. Light slanted down. All the lesser muscles in my face twitched. I flipped my man over gently, like an impatient lover, careful not to fracture his C-spine. Dominoes, black under crusty skin. A collapsed face stared up. There was a pink spray in the air, then a brief rainbow. The mandible was stitched with blue thread to the soul. I extract a tooth from the tongue. He had swallowed the rest. A childhood in Vermont. Our common traits and interests unite us. Up here above the tree line, there are so few so-and-so. This climate is inhuman. The little girl said, I cannot talk to those kinds, but what can I do? The trick is not to master a new language, but to have new facial expressions. The trick is not to master a new language, but to have a new face. A man was shot in the face for touching his wife's buttocks in public. A young female is always welcome. From behind, she looked, I swear, like all the others. But from the side, she resembled a cat. Even an educated man would only open a book to read about his childhood in Vermont. A million donuts. An honest day begins with getting up in the morning. I went to the kitchen and was excited to find a million donuts, all ready to be put away. Each day above ground is pure jelly, the old man said, before falling asleep. There was creamy chocolate on the inside, bright blisters on the outside. Later, the old man and I went outside to build a snowman. A stubborn motherfucker. He will not melt for a whole week. It was so hilarious to see these animals talking to each other. Late sorrows. Infant, you don't know me. I'm called Millennium. Some people call me Chow, others sudden death over time. Even in this friable language, all my names shame and infuriate me. The other day, I forked over Boku bucks to have my mug downloaded. I was at my witch doctor, demanding to know when I would be ransomed. Salted peanuts. They acid tends to dissipate, even as you saving them. I have buried them all over my estate, and now I can't find them. If the tailgates are diced into triangles after cook, so that I can still see them, that I will not eat them. But if the tailgates are melding in with the other foods after cook, so that I can't see them, then of course I will eat them, even though I know I'm eating tailgates. I must admit that I'm an admirer of Goethe, the author of Faust. Late at night, I enjoy strumming along in the company of my steel guitar. Academy of Fine Arts. Seeing a dog walking around with its tail upturned, its asshole exposed, I feel infinitely superior. I am a man after all, and don't walk around with my asshole exposed. Even with my pants down, my asshole would not be exposed. Once I saw a young mother blowing hot air rhythmically into her infant son's asshole, hoping to cure him of something. I'm going to make a very superficial comparison between American English and I guess English. Just down the street I saw a sign say, we are probably the only people who care about your health. And it was a curry shop. What the fuck? You know, in the States they would not probably. I walked by a market in Madison, Wisconsin. It was like the best market in the world. You know, it was probably not even the best market on that block, but it was like the. So there's something very charming about this sort of equivocal attitude you guys have. Fish eyes. My son won't eat anything but fish eyes. At the fishmongers, if my wife wants to buy a sturgeon that has already lost its set of eyes, she would also have to ask for 2 eyes plucked from a catfish, or even an eel, just so my son will have his fish eyes that evening. At home, these eyes are inserted into the new sockets. If a boy who eats chicken legs all the time will most likely turn into a drunkard, and a boy who eats chicken wings will become a poet, what will become of my son who never eats anything but fish eyes? Here's a note on translation. I cannot talk about things, a catnip or a dog, with the confidence that they will still exist in the world by the end of my sentences, such as progress. Further, my modest and improbable vocabulary is always compromised and perhaps sanctioned by an unbridgeable gap between the source of words and their promiscuity. Immortality is always slander, agreed, and yet translation is everyone's best bet for immortality. I've noticed there's been a few poems about the body. So this book was fairly obsessed with the body, and about a third of these poems were actually written in Vietnamese and then translated into English. And sometimes I go both. Sometimes I do English and then translate to Vietnamese. The reason I wrote these poems in Vietnamese, there was a website that would, I can wake up at like 8 and write a poem and then see them up online at like 10. So, so they tend to be fairly short. Obsolete maps. There are spots on your body that are never touched or seen, nearly impossible to reach even. Connoisseurs of the human body don't know what to call them. Borders, where bones always nudge against the fuzziest skin, where inside and outside are confused and fudged. Processed food. On my hands and knees, I reach behind the Bauhaus of her stained porcelain bowl for a rainbow of M&Ms. Trinity. Out of her laboring hole, her husband's head. Though full grown, it was blind and beardless. She slapped it when it demands songs and teats. Asymmetrical, they lay next to each other, a mingling of breath dirt, and saliva. Sick of the one, she gave birth to another. Bhutan. Bhutan is the capital of an insular state. Its rail service is perpetually understaffed. Gaseous, the articulated gas and load discharge that bind and distress, the accidental hiss. Practice birds, must you always discuss plumbing? A fairy tale. In the moonlight, he hoists himself up the funky, kinky hair tangling, down the rugged leaning tower, trying to tag his dusky reward before the moon struck midnight. Douglas Land. The Adam's apple is no apple, but a little man, an artistic type, an unpublished poet, half swallow, squatting in front of the voice box. Bardic. He sang not of oceans or the open road, but the pale sun rising on each thumbnail. He sang not of breasts, but of breastbones. And you know, there is a sun rising on each thumbnail, so just didn't look that up. Borderless body. Before, I was a miserly person, dry up, stiff, stuck, completely wrung, stuttering, fanatical. But this morning, my skin felt unusually cool and conscious. My body tingled. Suddenly I could understand and speak 2,000 languages. My soul blossomed. My breast budded. I peeled back my foreskin to scrape clean all my obsolete and labor presumptions. My teeth, the gaps in between my teeth and my breath felt unusually fresh and clean. I could see very far away. I can sympathize with each strand of hair stranded on the skin of each person. Shuddering, I ejaculated for the first time in life, into life. I became aware of my miraculous vagina and anus. Finally, I had been allowed to spread out, to blend into all humans, animals, and things. I just wanted to leap up to kiss everyone right away. I just wanted to service and suck everyone right away. I also wanted to be sucked by everyone on this earth. I was ready to forgive and apologize to each toe joint and each person. Naked, I walked through the street as the very first person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's time for a commercial. So here's some brand new products. Yeah, you're supposed to go out and buy these. Brand new products. A vigilant gun that always picks out the right target, even if it's you, no matter who you are aiming at. A computer that listens and blows you as you blow it to your favorite tune. Meat that cleans your teeth as you masticating it. A truck so awesome, only the President of the United States of America is allowed to careen in it to his own beat. A dictionary with positive adjectives only. A dictionary with no wet verbs. A dictionary with negotiable definitions. A dictionary that defines words by their antonyms. All the greatest hits from the last millennium performed live, on stage, on the inside of your state-of-the-art acoustically enhanced skull. A complete set of nude photos of you taken by you and sold back to you at a discount. A sex doll with a mirror for a face. A sex doll with a PhD. A sex doll with adjustable skin tone. A sensitive sex doll that just wants to be friends. A platonic sex doll. Rainwater in a bottle, sunshine in a box, and ambient sounds from a bus stop down the street recorded on a CD. A 24-hour video of what you did yesterday. A 24-hour video of what you would do tomorrow. A super realistic photo of what's outside your window pasted to your window. A baseball game that never ends, to be played simultaneously with a football game that never ends. Cluster bombs that scatter copies of leaves of grass over a 1,000-mile radius for 1,000 years. Landmines made with dough, topped with mozzarella and all your favorite toppings. An airplane that never lands. And finally, your favorite fairy tale painted on your new plastic limbs. The big joke about poetry reading is that the favorite line is that last poem. This is my last poem. So, but this is the title of the poem, so it's not the deluxe. Don't feel good yet. It's called Last Poem, I Promise. I have maximized neither my brain nor brawn. Feel this. I have fucked around, drifted, decades have disappeared. Shut the fuck up, you fucking hard R. Is it time to joke off? Creatively inclined, I've tried all 7 of the arts in turn. Pretty, not even trash, fuck me. Let me think about it, I'll get back to you. Do you come here a lot? Given your industry and smarts, would you prefer a well-paying, prestigious career or a lifetime of poverty, irrelevance, and an increasingly absurd display of self-hatred? 10 seconds then. Can you repeat that? After the fatal car crash, what have you done with your life? I blogged, took some photos, left comments on other people's blogs so they could comment on my blog. How to foster. Man chops own thumb off, replaces it with his toe, works just as well, sort of, is happier than he was before, lops his own dumb man off, replaces fucker with his brows, works even better than before. His wife in sympathy slices her own after images off. With my new political writing, I've been trying to become a responsible citizen, you know, which is, I think, kind of a struggle for me temperamentally, because I think poetry is a place to say that the irresponsible, to be somehow amoral, immoral, or even wrong. So this poem is called Late Weather. I wish somebody would violate me in public, strip me, beat me up, then fuck me, so I could sob in front of the whole world, so that as many people as possible could see how pitiful and sympathetic I am, so they could feel sorry for me and admire me. I want to be spat on, strangled, and spat on some more. Since childhood, I have fantasized about being on a stretcher, naked, dirty, and bleeding. Mostly effects, mind you. Even fake blood is okay. No starting gashes or organ failures like you. With my eyes open just enough to see these horrified, titillated, or indifferent eyes stare at me, vouching for my greatness, so that anyone could see that I am somebody, a lovable somebody.